Why my Western chef always make Asian dishes? Let's make some steak.
Okay, it's the festive season, so let's spoil my wife with some steak. But it's not just beef steak, I'm also making duck steak. I mentioned this in my roast duck video. If dry aged duck cooked the right way, the medium rare meat along with the crispy skin can be just as delicious as a beef steak. This meal took me 3 days to prep and cook. To create a great meal, you need to dedicate time for preparation. The better the prep, the higher the quality of the final dishes. Welcome back to That Caramel Taste by TA. I'm Tuan, the caretaker of my wife and 3 chubby dogs. Before we dive into the video, if you enjoy this kind of cooking content, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on what's coming next. Alright, let's jump right into the video. I choose the bone-in duck breast because the bone helps the ducks maintain its shape during dry aging. Plus, I get extra bone for the sauce. Use a sharp knife to separate the breast meat from the bone, trying not to tear the skin and keep the shape intact. Make small, careful scrape between the meat and bone, making sure not to cut into lean meat. No need to rush. Precision is key to getting the best duck steak. Once the meat is off the bone, set it aside to make our curing salt. Orange is the perfect pairing for duck. Since the duck will be dry aged, I use only orange zest for the rub. When zesting, be sure to avoid the white pit underneath so the rub isn't bitter. Save half of the orange zest for the fruit salad. Along with the orange zest, I add fresh thyme and fresh oregano. It's been ages since I got my hand on fresh oregano. I was so happy to find this rare herb here in Vietnam. Add some salt and freshly toasted black pepper, mince it all finely and rub it into the inside of the duck meat. The skin side only needs salt so it won't burn when pan searing. Now time to place the duck on the dry aging rack. One of my favorite things to make is confit garlic. Peel the garlic. Put it in a pot submerged in olive oil. Add thyme, oregano, rock salt, and black pepper. Cook on super low heat for about 45 to 90 minutes until the garlic is buttery soft. This confit garlic has an amazing caramel flavor. It seriously tastes great in everything. Next on the prep list, potatoes. I use Yukon Gold potatoes. I cut them in half. Then use a Vietnamese vegetable peeler to create large, thin slices of potato chips. Professionals use a mandolin, but this Vietnamese vegetable peeler works pretty well. Submerge the potato slices immediately in water to prevent oxidation. After slicing, rinse the potato twice to remove excess starch. Then soak them for about an hour so they don't stick. I cut the remaining potato for the roasted potatoes. I cut them into sharp, angular shape to maximize the crispy crust while keeping the inside soft. I rinse and soak this as well. Now it's time to pre-cook the potatoes. To save time, I use 1 pot of water for both types. I add the roasting potato to cold water along with a few smashed garlic clove and salt. Cooking them in cold water allows them to cook evenly, preventing the mushy outside raw inside problem. Once cooked, I drain them but save the cooking liquid. Add vinegar to the cooking liquid, then use it to boil the thinly sliced potatoes. The vinegar helps keep the potato slices intact so they don't turn into mush. When done, I turn off the heat and let them cool in the liquid. You can take the texture by gently poking the chopstick to the center of a slice. It should be cooked but not tearing apart.
Day 1 of prep is complete.
On day 2, after burning my tabletop, I soak the beef bone in water for about 2 hours to remove any impurity or strong odor. Meanwhile, I strain the sliced potato and let them drain. Now, let's get started on the fruit salad. I char the skin of the tomato until they are smoky and burnt, then wash off the burnt peel to reveal the juicy tomato flesh. I cut out the seed and place them in a strainer over a bowl, pressing gently to collect the tomato seed liquid. This liquid packed with antioxidant, which will keep our cut fruit fresh longer and prevent discoloration. I dice 1/3 of the tomato flesh into small cubes and add them to the tomato seed liquid. I put a thin layer of olive oil in a pan and sauteed the tomato flesh over low heat until it's very dry. I'll set that aside, that step takes a while. Back to the fruit salad. I dice some apple into small manageable cubes. Fun fact, my wife loves apples, especially one that are crisp and sweet, so I choose the super crunchy, super sweet cherry apples today. Next are grapes. I prefer seedless sweet red grape, which also add beautiful pop of color to the salad. The final fruit is navel orange. I trim off both ends to expose the orange flesh, then follow the curve of the fruit to slide away the peel, making sure to remove all the bitter white pit. I dice the orange flesh and add it into the salad, squeezing the juice from the core and cutting board into salad as well. Keeping all the natural juice minimize the need for extra liquid ingredient. I toss everything gently to gauge the seasoning need. Then add the saved orange zest and olive oil, toasting again to coat the fruit with oil. I add a little white sugar and toss very gently until sugar dissolves. You should always add sugar first to balance the acids before adding salt, which prevents acrid taste. Once the sugar is dissolved, I add salt, mix and taste. When I'm happy with the flavor, I move on to the aroma. I mean some more fresh oregano and thyme. Mix it in and taste again. Now it's go into airtight container in the fridge for a day so all the flavor can blend together. Time for Café de Paris butter. This is a compound butter with a complete balanced seasoning profile, savory, sweet, sour, and spicy, perfect for steak. First ingredient is onion. I choose red onion for its color and slightly sharper flavor than shallots. I mean the red onion very finely so it's not overpowering when you chew it. Next are the herbs. I use fresh oregano and thyme again. You can use any herbs you like, it's personal reference. Mince lightly, then zest half a lemon. Squeeze the lemon juice right into the bowl. Be careful to check for the lemon seed. Lemons are notorious for having a lot of them. I add salt to the herb and zest on the cutting board, mince them finely and use the side of a knife to press them, which help the salt extract more aroma from the herbs and zest. Next, I place anchovies on the cutting board and smash it smooth with my knife. Anchovy paste in Western cooking like nước mắm fish sauce in Vietnam. It boosts the umami in the dish. The herbs, onion and zest help mask the finishes of the anchovy, but you can skip them and just add salt if you don't like the flavor. Next is the confit garlic. Normally these recipes use raw garlic, but I love that caramel flavor, so I use the confit garlic for sweetness. See, it's so soft. You just need to smash it with a knife. And as Vietnamese, adding some super spicy chili sauce for heat. I use unsalted butter, specifically 100% cow milk butter from Zelachi. Since I start cooking and I have tried many brands, this unsalted Zelachi butter to me is the most fragrant and rich for the price. The butter should be at room temperature so it's soft but not melted, making it easier to mix. Easy to say, it's still a workout trying to mix the slippery butter in a bowl. Once mixes, I put it in a container and chill it until we need it for the steak.
And that day too is fish day.
The beef bone has soaked for 2 hours, so I take them out and put them in the air fryer to roast. I add the duck bone alongside them. The duck breasts after 1 day of dry aging have kept a beautiful shape. So I can now cut the breast away from the bone. The meat is evenly seasoned and smells wonderful. I trim off any tough silver skin and excess fat from the duck breast to ensure the most tender steak. The trim, fat, and silver skin go into the air fryer with the beef and duck bone until golden brown and fragrant. While the bone roasts, I prep the vegetable for the sauce. Take slice of red onion, carrot, and celery. This will join the bone for roasting until golden brown. While the bones are roasting, I sauteed the dry salted tomato from earlier with oregano and thyme until fragrant. Then deglaze the pan with whiskey. I flambe it to burn off the alcohol, then add it into the pot, ready to add the bone and pressure cook the brown stock. The bones and the vegetable take a long time to roast, so I start frying the potato slices. To check the oil temperature without a thermometer, I watch how the oils move. If the oil is warm but still have some thickness when I stir it, it's about 130 to 140 degrees Celsius. If it's stirred almost like water, it's about 160 to 170 degrees Celsius. If it's moved exactly like water, it's 180 to 190 degrees Celsius. If it's smoking, it's too hot. Once the oil reaches 180 degrees Celsius, I test it with one slice. My induction stove wasn't giving stable heat, so the first batch failed. I had to switch to my gas burner. Since the potatoes were pre-cooked in vinegar water, you can stir them freely without worrying about them breaking. Stir constantly for even cooking. Discard any imperfect slice. We only want the beautiful, crispy ones. While the potatoes fry, the bones and the vegetable are done roasting. I add them to the pot with the dry salted tomatoes and water, and it's time to pressure cook the brown stock. After frying the chips, I move on to the roasting potatoes. Since they are already cooked, I just need to roast them in the air fryer until the skin is golden brown.
Time to enjoy the appetizer.
We start with the appetizer for this steak feast, Carpaccio di Carne. I place a thick layer of grated Parmesan cheese on a plate and microwave it until it's crispy, only about 1 to 2 minutes. Do not microwave it too long, it's very easy to burn. While waiting for the cheese crisps, I slice the beef. The beefs have been dry-aged for 2 days, making it very easy to slice. I cut the slice about 3 mm thick so you can really feel the tender, sweet, fragrant fiber of the beef. Once the cheese is done, while it's still hot and pliable, I quickly lift it off the plate so it doesn't stick. Let it cool naturally and you get these crispy umami Parmesan chips. Back to slicing beef. Time for plating. I spread a layer of confit garlic oil on the plate. It smells amazing. Olive oil, toasted garlic, and fresh herbs. Next is the salad. Just a few leaves to balance the richness of all the flavor. I lay a layer of beef slices over the salad. Sprinkle some grated parmesan. I garnish with some arugula and a few pieces of the crispy parmesan cheese. I finish by drizzling cold-pressed olive oil, which add another layer of olive flavor. Cold-pressed olive oil is great for your heart because it's the nutrients and reserved without heat. I add a few spoons of balsamic glaze for a light, sweet caramel tartness to cut through the richness of the dish. Finally, the crispy potato chips. Now for the main course, all the herbs stem I saved during prep, it is the moment to use it. I add more fresh herbs and put them all into the air fryer to dry out. I also place 3 stainless steel cups under the air fryer rack to raise it. Time to strain the stock from the bones. I add a little balsamic glaze and salt, then let it simmer on low heat. Look at the duck breast. It's beautiful. I place the duck breast on a cold pan, put it on low heat, and press it down with a heavy object to ensure the skin is fully contact with the pan. This renders the duck fat evenly and make the skin crispier. I pan-sear the duck for about 2 minutes or until the fat itself crispier, then let it rest on the rack for about 5 minutes. While the duck cooks, I finish the steak sauce. I taste it, season it with more salt and brown sugar until it's perfect. Then add the black pepper and let it simmer further. I use the rendered duck fat to sear the beef. Turn the heat up to medium. Since the beef is dry, it crisps up very quickly. I turn the beef more frequently than usual, about 30 seconds for a size. Time for the beef to rest. I let the pan cool down before searing the duck and beef again. Searing duck skin on a cold pan helps the fat render more evenly, making the skin as crispy as a pork crackling. Quick searing and resting allow the heat distribute evenly to the meat, preventing the outside layer overcook while the center is still raw. After repeating about 3 times, I increase the heat up to medium-high to sear the duck meat side about 1 to 2 minutes to create a golden crispy crust, then let it rest again. After the duck, it's the beef turn. High heat this time. I also add half a lemon to the pan to caramelize it. Once the beef is golden and crisp, I let it rest briefly. To add another layer of aroma to the steak, I'm going to cold smoke it with the dry herbs. I place the steak in the air fryer and use a torch to burn the dry herb, and quickly put them into the air fryer to smoke. Do not turn the air fryer on, the meat needs to rest. I add the meat juice from the resting plate to the pepper sauce, stirring it well to prevent clump. Almost done, now I fry the roasted potatoes. I fry them at 180 degrees Celsius until crispy. While they cook, I toss the herb one more time to smoke the steak. I plate the fruit salad and add a few extra salad leaves for garnish. I pour the sauce into a cup and let the fat settle so I can skim some off, keeping the meal from being too heavy. Once the potatoes are done, I put them in a stainless steel bowl lined with paper towel and shake it so the paper absorbs the excess oil. While they are still hot, I add a few spoonfuls of grated Parmesan cheese for coat the potato, adding an umami, savory sweet layer. Time to serve the potatoes. The steak is ready. I slice the duck steak first. The crispy skin with tender medium rare, evenly pink meat. I place the sliced duck on the fruit salad. Next is the beef steak. I slice it into bite-sized pieces. The exterior have a crispy crust with a smoky aroma, and the inside is perfectly medium rare. And put 3 cans of Café de Paris butter. I toss the butter to melt it slightly. Then add another canal on top. Garnish with a bit of fresh oregano, a delicious steak.
Time to eat!
Thank you so much for watching my final cooking video of 2025. Editing this video and reflecting on the past year has made me quite emotional. I feel happy, tired, and a little bit anxious all at once. This year, I lost 3 jobs and was unemployed for 5 months. For someone who always working, those days were full of worry and uncertainty. But thanks to that, I was able to launch this channel, That Caramel Taste by TA. The first few videos were pretty bad. The lighting was off, the focus was off, and pretty much every screen was yellow. However, thanks to the support and the feedback from my wife and friends, the video quality has improved. Also, my husky, Carrie, she went through a life-threatening situation. It devastated me. We have a video talk about it, but unfortunately only in Vietnam. So if you would like to know about it, let me know in the comment. Despite all that, my wife and I somehow managed to have our first trip to Singapore, so be sure to check it out. Currently, I'm on probation at an Italian restaurant that opening soon this December. For the first time, a menu that 100% me, tuan, will be introduced. I'm wondering if it will be well received or not, but I'm excited as well because this has been my dream since day one. Honestly, I don't know what 2026 will bring, but I do know that I need to keep moving forward with an open mind. If you enjoy cooking content with a little slice of life like this, please don't forget to subscribe. That will give me the motivation to keep producing content. Last but not least, I want to wish everyone who stayed until this very end of the video a 2026 filled with blessing, peace, and all the best. I'll see you all in the next video.